In today's episode, Ash faces off against B in quite the intense battle, and it's well, let's go ahead and discuss it. Hey, this is GatorEX, and today episode 34 of Pokemon Journeys is out now, and it was a pretty, like I said, intense episode. But yeah, this one that we've been looking forward to for a while. I just want to remind you also, I'll be watching the new episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, reviewing it on my other channel, but in Pokemon news, yeah, this is quite the interesting battle. So it starts off in Saffron City as both our heroes are at the fighting dojo, and they're training, or at least Ash is kind of training Riolu against a Hitmonlee and a Hitmonchan, and apparently there were just a bunch of Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan here because I guess that's how the fighting dojo is. And Go's trying to decide which one he wants, which makes sense why Go would want to go there to pick one of these two Pokemon, because he doesn't have one yet. So, I mean, an interesting thing, like, I mean, yeah, you get one in the game, like a Hitmonchan or a Hitmonlee, but I guess you don't really think about it that much, that, like, they must have a bunch of them to just give out. The Karate Master is there. Currently, he's in a battle, supposedly against a challenger, and they go to watch the battle, and they catch the tail end of it, as B apparently just absolutely destroyed the Karate Master. Dash gets hit with a Hitmonchan blasting through the door, and so now this is where things start to take off. The battle is set, or at least, as B finishes this battle, one is started between Ash and B. Now, this episode did begin kind of reminding us of Ash's ranking at the current moment, which is 890, and yeah, he reached that in like the last episode, so that was kind of neat to see, that carrying over, and that this is, where he is, obviously. B is 751, which is, a good amount higher, but they're still in the same, in the same bracket, or the same league. So they go ahead and battle each other, and B is just very serious, very not necessarily, what's the word, not cold or strict, but like she's serious, very serious about battling and about training. And I guess it makes sense because they kind of give a little exposition on her. The Karate Master there is saying, yeah, she's a gym leader, she comes from Galar, and she's been traveling over training with different Pokemon, or different dojos and this and that, a fighting type master, and it shows her with a bunch of fighting type Pokemon, a little shot there. And it's interesting too, because with the battle specifically, right, Ash having some fighting type Pokemon, or at least two fighting type Pokemon, which that's a good amount of like repeat in typing. So they're going to be facing off against each other. It's a fighting type battle, this whole thing. And like I said, most of the battle takes up most of the episode is the battle, right? So it's not necessarily that I can't necessarily comment on it, but it's very much so you have to see it for yourself. But as far as the details around the battle, Ash had been acting very, very cocky about fighting off, or about defeating the Karate Master, or how well his Pokemon were doing, and as he's challenging B. He even, says, oh, so you're, like a fighting type gym leader. I beat Karina just the other day, and he's bragging about that. And of course, B's like, oh yeah, she's soft. Which, obviously compared to B. And, what's really neat too, because we've seen B in Pokemon Twilight Wings, right? We got that development before we got this episode, and so it's also interesting to see just how much she trains in that, and how how serious she is in this anime. Of course, maybe in Twilight Wings, I don't know how the timelines are going to match up exactly, specifically, but maybe this is before Twilight. I mean, not necessarily that Twilight Wings and the anime are in the same canon, because they obviously aren't, but for the most part, in Twilight Wings, B learns to basically take things easy, right? To take a break once in a while, or to chill out for a second. This one here, she's got no chill. As, oh gosh, the battle was really, really good. So the first, it starts off, it's a 2v2. It starts off with Ash's Galarian Farfetch'd versus B's Hawlucha, and so, the two bird bros fighting it out. And like I said, okay, the animation in this entire episode is just so nice. Even, at the beginning where Riolu was kind of sparring with a Hitmonlee and a Hitmonchan, and all the Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are there, and like through this entire battle, it just looks so nice, and the music is great too. Again, it's an audio visual just masterpiece that you just need to see for yourself. But for the most part, it's a good battle again, and a good episode overall. Like, but it was also important, something we need to see, because Hawlucha defeats Galarian Farfetch'd, because Hawlucha's got the type advantage. And so for the next round, it ends up being Riolu versus Graplocked. And this is even more intense, even crazier, because, okay, for one thing, if you've played Pokemon Sword and Shield and, you know, you've seen Graplock just in the wild, you know how crazy this thing is. It looks at you, it flexes or whatever, and then it crawls toward you really fast. And we see all of that going on in this battle, just how crazy it is and how fluid it is and how much it can move. And, you know, it's a really close-up fighter. So that's giving Riolu a lot of trouble because Riolu can't really get in close enough because, you know, it just gets grappled basically, or octo-locked and liquidated. That's what the move is in English, but in Japanese it's something cool like Aqua Break. But he gets Aqua Broken, and it's like I said, it's just crazy. And even though Riolu ends up using like Vacuum Wave on the ground to pull a Sky High by attacking the ground, he tries to sneak up on Graplock. And the interesting thing too, you know, Graplock has got that one tentacle wrapped around its waist, kind of like a belt. That one comes undone and just grabs Riolu right behind him. So you cannot get close to an octopus. I mean, yeah, you know, we've had Octillery before, but now Graplock means business as far as, you know, an 8-armed Pokemon. So, you know, and not that it's kind of, okay, yeah, it is kind of sad watching poor little baby Riolu getting beat up, but for the most part, like, you kind of, I guess you kind of expected this. And again, like I said, not that Ash was asking for it, but the way that he was acting before the battle, leading up to the battle, it made a little more sense. You know, now he's got a big, intense challenge. And like I said, it's just crazy how, you know, intense the battle is. And, you know, it's something that I talked about, I guess, you know, honestly, recently in the Black 2, White 2 trailer about battles and how, you know, having weight and fluidity in, you know, other parts of the anime. Like, the main series anime does it really well as well when it wants to. And again, you know, in an episode like this. And Riolu gets octo-locked and takes an Aqua Break to the face and gets mind-crushed Yu-Gi-Oh! Style. And, again, it can be a little hard to watch, maybe, but I mean, it's Pokemon, you know, everyone's fine in the end. Well, I mean, not Ash. Ash ends up losing the battle, and, you know, it was unnecessary loss, and I guess it also kind of goes to further show, you know, how much of a higher level some of these Galar gym leaders are going to be at, or just, I guess, gym leaders in general during the Pokemon World Championship. Just shows that he's, like, an even farther way away from Leon than he thought he was originally. And so, of course, B is being not necessarily respect, but of course, again, very serious, very, all right, let's battle. I beat you. All right, cool. Thank you. Bye. It's kind of that. But I mean, you know, it's just B is the best anime tomboys for the win. But regardless, of course, yeah, Ash doesn't exactly take the loss very well. I mean, you know, he doesn't like get super angry or bratty, but obviously he's disappointed that he lost the battle. And so, you know, in the end, it's kind of giving the feeling of like, you know, he's got a long way to go. He's still got to train. But what I really do like is, of course, you know, we know that whenever the inevitable rematch between the two comes, it's going to be something. It's going to be quite the battle. You know, definitely, I'm 100% expecting both Farfetch'd and Riolu to evolve before their next rematch. I'm not saying that they need to evolve, but definitely I think that that's what's going to happen. I do think that by the time they end up battling again, he's going to have a Surfetch'd, he's going to have a Lucario, and he's going to use them both in that battle. So it's going to be a fighting type battle. And I guess I don't necessarily know if B would end up using maybe the same Pokemon. Graplock for sure, but maybe another fighting type Pokemon as well. I can't really predict all that, but definitely the rematch is going to be something to look out for. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the episode. Again, you know, it was very, very battle focused. You know, the funny thing is, Go did end up getting a Hitmonchan. He did have to battle the Karate Master. We didn't see that before. One interesting thing I didn't mention, but throughout the episode, Raboot is just itching to fight. every little turn, every time there's something somewhat threatening, he kind of squares up. And when Go is told that he has to battle the Karate Master to get his Pokemon, Raboot is all excited. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that battle, but I would actually like to see Raboot fighting later on. You know, we'll see how that develops further, because you know, he does seem to enjoy battling, at the very least, you know, from this episode and previously. So that'll just be neat to see develop. But again, you know, the big thing was, you know, Ash was kind of knocked down a peg. His rating did go back down to like 930 by the end of this episode, so that hurts to see. So he's got to work his way back on up. But it's really interesting. And again, B being one of the Galar gym leaders, with her ranking being only like 751, I'm really interested to see if we're going to see any of the other Galar gym leaders and how high their ranking is going to be, because, you know, in the game, B is she's the 4th gym leader in the game, I believe. I'm gonna look down. No, that's right, 4th gym leader in the game. It's been a while since I played Campaign of Sword and Shield, but it'll be really interesting to see where everyone else stacks up. But one thing I guess we do know is that, you know, the top 8 trainers that was teased like way at the beginning of the announcement of like the World Championships, we know that at the very least B is not in there because she's only a 751. So as for who could possibly make up those top 8 trainers, at the very least, we know that B's not one of them, but that'll, and I guess it is also interesting to see that it's not entirely made up of the Galar gym leaders, potentially. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but let me know what you think down in the comments below. Did you like this episode? Personally, I thought it was great, and I realized more so when it comes to the Pokemon anime, I normally rate them great, good, fun. I don't think there are any bad episodes so far. But maybe that's just me. But this was a great episode. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you'd like to see me discuss Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, I'll be discussing that on my other channel. Link in the iCard and the description. End card at the end of the video. Right after I finish recording this, I'm going to watch that episode. So stick around for that. Both of the reviews should be up the same day. So if you could check that out, that would just mean so much. And I still hit it. I pulled my arms back. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking that bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out and will make you a member of that Chingling squad. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.